Good morning. We are having a very odd winter. You can see behind me that we got a good amount of snow this past week, and it's been so cold that it hasn't melted, which is really nice. But you can also see behind me that we still have deciduous trees that have green leaves on them. They haven't even turned yet, so they're not even yellow or orange or red, which they will be. They haven't done any of that, and they've already weathered a number of snowstorms. So you'd say, this is very odd. Some people might explain this as climate change. Odd, weird things happening in creation because the world temperature is changing. But I'd say spiritually, there's a real opportunity here for us. I have found so often in my life, and maybe you have as well, that what I see around me in creation can teach me a lesson in my spiritual journey, in my personal life. These aren't just trees and birds and bushes that are around us just, oh, well, that's because they're there. I had a friend who once said that creation is the other face of God. God is talking to me through creation, through this odd winter where we are mid-November and these trees haven't changed yet. They haven't turned. What's going on? Often in our lives, we ask the same question. Things just do not seem to be as they should. Someone has an illness, and there's no explanation for it. They're young and otherwise healthy. They should not be ill. Someone is terminated from their position. There's no explanation for it. Why did this happen? It came right out of the blue. There's a struggle in your family, relationships. Where did it come from? You'd always gotten on so well before. Things in our lives that are just not as they should be, as we expect them to be. Often we don't give any attention to these things in our lives because we expect them to do what they're supposed to do, right? Turn when the seasons change. You change. And yet in our lives we know that is not true. So taking a cue from the trees around me, I start to look at what else in my life could benefit from this lesson. There is stuff happening in this yard alone. Deciduous trees not having turned their colors yet. Things in your life not going as planned. So what's the lesson? What can you learn here? Like just grin and bear it? I don't think so. Because this tree is not changing means it's still alive. There is still much living to be done before it releases its leaves and surrenders to the cold, surrenders to the situation that is not as it should be, even for the tree. Is there something that you can surrender in your life that you are being invited to let go of because things are not as they should be? I wonder sometimes if habitual behavior numbs us to the newness that God is trying to create within us. It always happens this way, so I don't give it a second thought. And yet, if it's not happening the way it should in my own mind, now I start to pay attention. So what is the lesson? Life continues. There is a deep wisdom in creation around us. Honestly, you cannot process this without some quiet. So I encourage you to take some time for solitude. Perhaps looking out at creation around you or pictures of creation and trying to find a parallel in your own life because it's there. None of this happens by chance. God is behind the mystery of our lives and the mystery of creation. Let's see how they connect.